Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and this channel's all about great movies and great TV series from all over the world. And today we've got another exciting review to deep dive into. Today we're going to go into Columbia Classics Collection Volume 2 on 4K Ultra HD. And this is a set I've talked a lot about recently on the channel. And so this is one that a lot of you have requested me to do a full review on. And I was excited to deep dive into this to see what the quality was versus the previous Blu Ray releases that have been around, as well as to see what they did with these 4K releases. So we're going to be doing another exclusive 4K versus Blu Ray image comparisons. I'm going to go through each one of the films in this box set and show you several different image comparison shots between the previous Blu Ray releases and these brand new 4K restorations and remasters on 4K Ultra HD. And that'll give you basically a great idea of what these look like versus the previous Blu-rays, if it's something that you're going to want to upgrade and spend the money for this set, and kind of go through and give you my review scores on each one individually. So we'll go through each one individually. I'll do individual movie reviews and then give you my review score of what the image comparisons between the previous Blu-ray releases were and let you know what the thoughts are on each title. Then at the end, I'm going to go through and do a full review of what the combined review scores and the box set as a whole comes out as a review score. And then we'll go through and do a rundown of the specs of each movie as I'm going through those, and then wrap it up at the end with my final thoughts and my total review score of combination of basically all the review scores of each film in this box set. So as always, I've done dozens of these over the years. I do tons of these exclusive and special reviews, early reviews of things that are sent to me from companies, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so you don't miss out on any of this exclusive or special content. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Alright, first one we're going to start off with here is The Anatomy of a Murder, and I really did enjoy this film. I've seen it numerous times previously before on the Criterion release that had come out quite a while before. So that's what we're going to be comparing this to, is the previous Blu-ray release by Criterion Collection. And I'll show you above as we're going through each one of these and I'm doing these reviews and review scores, I'm going to show you the comparison between previous Blu-ray releases that I own and these new 4K scans and remasters. Now, I will touch on this right off the bat. Inside each one of these box sets, when you take off the slipcovers, there is actually a new Blu-ray copy. Some of these releases that are in this box set had either limited runs or limited edition releases on Blu-rays around the world. So this does have a brand new Blu-ray copy in it as well with the 4K Ultra HD. So right off the bat, if you're watching this and you don't have a 4K player yet, don't worry, you get the new Blu-ray editions in these sets as well. So if you want to future-proof yourself, as I've talked about numerous times over the years on my YouTube channel, getting this set, because it is such a limited edition release, once it sells out, you can't get it except for like thousands of dollars like they've been selling for Volume 1 that I've talked about on eBay and Amazon. And I will have all the links for all of these listed in the description section right below this video. So if you are still looking for Volume 1, I will put those Amazon links right in the description section right below this video. Though I will warn you, Volume 1, because it was so limited, is now going for right around about $1,000 is what they normally sell for. So that is why doing this review now when it's available, at the end, if this is something you're going to want to pick up, go down to the description section right below this video and I'll have those links down there for Volume 2 as well, so you can pick it up while it's still on sale for around $100. Before it goes up to that $1,000 price range, this is the time you're going to want to pick it up. But you can decide that after you watch this review and I go through my review scores, but I just wanted to let you know that is listed down in the description section below. As in every video, I put those right down there in the description section below to make it nice and easy for all of you. You click on that and it takes you out there to Amazon to pick it up. So talking about Anatomy of a Murder here. Now I did love James Stewart and I really thought it was a really well done like courtroom drama mystery about a murder. Obviously it kind of gives it away, Anatomy of a Murder, but the courtroom drama side of it was really well done. And James Stewart basically plays a low-level kind of no-name basically attorney. And it's kind of one of those things, he's going up against a big attorney in this big case and things like that. And multiple things happen along the way that are shocking and revealing in the case. And it was really well done. And for a black and white film, just like I did recently on the channel, I did the recent review of Universal's classic Monsters collections, the first 4 films that they released in 4K Ultra HD on their new restorations. And if you haven't checked that review out yet, I'll put that link up here so that way you can click on that and you can go watch that after this video is done. But that review was an interesting thing because it's a brand new black and white 4K Ultra HD restoration and remaster, and it had a lot of interesting results that really surprised me. Well, Anatomy of a Murder had a similar thing, and as you probably noticed by those screenshots above I've been showing you in comparisons, the brand new scan and the new restoration they did for this 4K presentation really does bring a new sense of uptick in detail, the difference between the blacks and the lights. Now, because it's black and white, there wasn't colors to give that big HDR difference where there's color variances in it. But the HDR does still drastically change that lights to darks, the blacks, the multi-shades of the grays and the blacks and the whites. And it does make a drastic difference in the clarity of skin tones and the depth to what you see on their faces. And I've talked about this a lot on the channel. Because they left the natural film grain in this film, and I will say they did not DNR it, I was very happy with that. It does look drastically better because it is a brand new native 4K 2160p representation for this film. And that's where I think that these films really did shine because of what they brought out in it with the black and white, like what I talked about in that Universal Monsters collection. It really does surprise me how much more they were able to bring out of the image. And it does have HDR10 on this one as well. And it's presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. And it does look drastically better in this new 4K presentation. Now, to show you what you get in here, you do get obviously the slip covers, and I do like how in these limited edition Columbia Classics collections, they give you these nice slip covers. I do like collecting slip covers on my stuff, as you can see through my collection over the years. If I can get a slip cover, I do like it, and I do think they're really nice high gloss. They're all matching on the side, so when they're in that box set, as I show you later on through the unboxing of that, they all match nicely, and it does have some nice things on the back where it gives you little like things from the movie on it. Getting into the 4K, it does have different cover art on it. Obviously on the side it does look the same, and then on the back it has a bunch of different things talking about the special features. It does have a bunch of interviews, behind the scenes, theatrical trailers, and I do like how they included that all on there. And there is a Blu Ray copy as well. So again, as I said, if you want to pick this up, it does include on the inside here a Blu Ray copy and your 4K Ultra HD. So if you are wanting to have both in it, so that way you're able to watch it, it is region free on both these discs. So as always, I test everything on the channel. Both discs in this set are region free. Now there is some interesting results I will point out right away. I did find out a lot of people have been passing around some misinformation about this set. Because I exclusively test everything, as all of you know on this channel, I test everything in my region A, my region B, my region C, Xbox, PS5, doesn't matter, I test them in all of them to see what plays, what doesn't, and if there's any issues playing any of these. Now, this set I did not have any issues with Anatomy of a Murder, but there is some interesting results as I went along testing each one of these in this box set that a lot of people did report, oh, they're all region free. Well, that's not actually the case. Because a lot of reviewers do not simply test everything like I do. They don't actually know a lot of the times if things are region free because they don't have multiple different Blu-ray players that are from different regions to test them in correctly. Well, I can tell you right off the bat, not every disc in this set is region free. There was some of the Blu-ray copies that are region locked, and I'll get to that later on as I go through those, but I just thought I'd point that out off the bat. You're going to want to make sure to stick through this entire review because there's a lot of interesting things I found out as I was going through testing and watching each one of these between the difference between them. But I can tell you right off the bat, Anatomy of a Murder did look great, and it was a worthy upgrade. It did have English Dolby Atmos on it for audio as well. So those of you that are Dolby Atmos fans, they did include that in as an audio mix, and it did sound great on it. Now, I'm not going to go through every single audio mix on every single disc in here because, to be honest with you, when I started making the list, it was so extensive and so long, it was going to take me several hours to go through this entire box set on that. But I can tell you there's a plethora of audio options. English, Spanish, Cantonese, Italian, German, and the list goes on. So if you're wanting audio options, it has all of them available. The 4K on this is region free and the Blu-ray is region free. So if you are wanting to import this set because it's sold out in your country, as I said, the link will be down in the description section below. Now, for a movie that came out in 1959, it does look surprisingly amazing on this new 4K scan and restoration. My review score for Anatomy of a Murder is a 9.5. It's a great disc and a great release, and I highly recommend picking it up. Now, because this is only available in this box set, as most of these releases are, just like with Volume 1, I do suggest that you stick around to the end to see if this is worth picking up the entire box set, because I don't know if a lot of these are going to be released separately. So if you're a fan of some of these movies in here and there's enough of them that you're interested in, then in that case you may find you want to pick up the whole box set. All right, let's get to the next one here. Next up, we have The Social Network. And this is by Aaron Sorkin, did the screenplay, and David Fincher, who I love as a director, directed this film. And I really, really enjoyed this film. It's one of my wife and my favorite films. We really thought it was such a great, kind of look at how Facebook kind of came about. Now, I don't know if everything's 100% accurate in the film, but it was so well done in such an entertaining film that it still holds up incredibly well today, and I enjoyed watching it and going back to watch it again in 4K Ultra HD. Now, this one's one of those that's a very interesting release because I exclusively test everything on the channel here. Just like you see with my exclusive screenshot comparisons above, there were some interesting findings I had. Now, The Social Network does come with both your 4K Ultra HD and your Blu Ray releases, just like what I was talking about in Anatomy of a Murder. Now, in this set though, after testing it, the 4K Ultra HD was region free, but the Blu-rays in this were region A locked in this set. Now, each country, I'm assuming, that this set is released in is going to have region locked to that set, the Blu-rays that are in it. So that's an interesting thing because it's been reported that this is region free, the entire set. It's not. This is one of them that the Blu-rays are region locked. So if you're going to import this to another country and you don't live in a region A territory or region B or wherever you might live, keep in mind, my worldwide audience here, that the Blu-rays in this are region locked. Now I understand because a lot of you are buying this for the 4K Ultra HD release, that you don't really care as much about maybe the Blu-rays, but I'll always test it and share that. So the Blu-rays in this set, both Blu-rays, because you get two in here. You get the Blu-ray with the movie, and then you get the supplement disc, which is also region locked. So both of these discs were region locked. Only the 4K Ultra HD was region free in this. And just to share a little hidden tidbit here, a lot of reviewers that don't actually have the equipment to test things that report, oh, something's region free. They're doing it because on the back of the box, it had a little thing here saying it's region free, but that's not always the case, as I found out for dozens of releases around the world that I've tested. Not all the case that even though they print it on there saying it's region free, a lot of the times they region lock the discs, and in this case they did. Even though it says region free here, region A, B, C, that is not the case. It is not a region free set. Only the 4K is in this set. So that's another reason why if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Now getting into the movie a little bit more here, I really enjoyed the movie. As I said, I think it's a very well done look at how kind of Facebook came about and how Mark Zuckerberg is kind of a very cold individual. And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I mean, to me, it just kind of showed that he's just kind of a cold individual and doesn't really care about anybody. But each one of us has our own opinion about the movie. That's mine. I do enjoy the film and think it's very, very well done. Now in here, it does come with both the unrated cut and the PG-13 cut on the 4K Ultra HD as well as on the Blu-ray. So you get both options for that. And I love when they include two cuts of the movie so you can choose what you like best and what you want to watch. Now, this is one of those interesting things. After testing and going through this, this is an upscaled 4K 2160p. So it's from a 2K upscaled to a 4K. And that is one of those things that does affect my review score for this film. I love the film. I think it's a really well done film, such an enjoyable watch, and really does give you an overall view of kind of how Facebook came about to be. The HDR on this is Dolby Vision with an HDR10 as well. So you get a choice between Dolby Vision and HDR10. And I like Dolby Vision. I think Dolby Vision is amazing. If you have the abilities to play it in Dolby Vision, it really is a treat. But this is where this is one of those out of this box set that I will say was the lowest of the visual upgrades. As you probably noticed as I've been showing you the screenshots above for this, the comparison between the Blu-ray and the 4K release, I mean, honestly, this 4K release was the one that was the least of an upgrade of all of the ones out of this box set. It is in the original aspect ratio of 2.39 to 1, and it does have audio. All the audio options where you get English Dolby Atmos on this, which is a great upgrade in audio option. So there was a lot of things I did like about this. For a film that came out in 2010, it's a great docudrama is what I want to call it. And it really is a drama. I mean, it's not really a documentary as much as it is a drama. There's so much drama that goes on in this film. People crying, upset, mad. And it's so well done that it really sucks you into the film. So I enjoy it and it's a great film. Though I was disappointed in this because as I've talked about a lot on the channel, when they do newer films, a lot of the times it's not as huge of an upgrade to 4K as it is for some of those older classics like Anatomy of Murder. There's a big upgrade difference between that Criterion Collection and the new 4K on that. In this case, it simply wasn't as big an upgrade as I was hoping for. It does look good, don't get me wrong. As I've always talked about on this channel, I always love 4Ks. I mean, when you have a good player, like I use my Panasonic UB820, and that makes things look amazing on my TV, especially because I'm using a high-end 4K TV. And if you're curious about what I play things on, I list those down in the description section below, what I personally watch everything and test things on. And so what I find is it does look good over the Blu-ray. I'm glad to have it, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. But for those of you that are looking for an honest opinion about it, it's simply not as big an upgrade, and it did not look as good as some of those that have the natural film grain and really are older film that they can scan the films from the film stock that really bring out so much more life to it. This one just simply did not have as big an upgrade. So in that case, this one gets a 7.8. I did love the film. It's just as far as an upgrade goes for this, if they ever sell this on its own, which I don't know if they're going to based on how Volume 1 went, but if they ever do sell it on its own, I mean, a 7.8, it's a good review score, but it's not amazing. For a 4K, there is other options that I do think are better upgrades. So maybe it'll be an unpopular opinion, but I will always be honest on this channel, and my opinions are always my own, and that's what I see when I test them. And as you've seen above, I hope you've seen that difference between the two, that really there was. It looks good, does have some better colors, some slightly difference in colors, how they look, but it just wasn't as huge an upgrade, which is why it got a 7.8. Now, talking about the special features that came in here, though, it did include all the previous special features from the previous Blu-ray release. That's why there's multiple discs in this set. So, if you have the previous Blu-ray release, you won't need to hold on to it anymore once you have this, because it does include all of them. I went through all of them, comparing them to my previous Blu-ray release. They're all included in here. Next up, we have Sense and Sensibility. And I am a big costume drama kind of guy. My wife loves them. I love them. I love all films. As you all know, I'm a cinephile. I don't pick things based on, oh, it's a woman's film, or oh, it's a guy's film, or oh, it's a kid's film. If it's a good film, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. I'll review it, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are on it. And I really do enjoy Sense and Sensibility. I think it's a very well done film. It's got humor. It's got romance. It's got kind of a little bit of quirky attitude, lots of drama, and it's just very well done and an enjoyable film to watch. So this is one of those films that my wife really enjoys as well. It's got Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Kate Winslet, and Hugh Grant, and overall, just a really enjoyable film. It did come out in 1995, and it's rated PG. And something I'm going to touch on while I'm going through this film here. All 6 films in this box set have subtitles on them. Now, I said I kind of had to condense what I'm talking about for basically audio options and subtitles. It has subtitles on all 6 films. You get German, English, French, Italian, Spanish, and dozens more. I literally went through and was starting to make a list, and it was taking up a whole page. So basically, almost any single audio option, Cantonese, you name it, they have all the audio options on here. Subtitle options, same thing. All your subtitle options, you can go through every film. It was a long list, so I didn't want to list them all out. But I can tell you, as far as every audio option I could possibly see and every language option I could possibly see that anyone's wanting, they were included in each of the 6 films in this set. So I just wanted to touch on that here for a second as I'm going through these. But this one has a really nice slipcover again. Nice on the side, and then on the back it does have some other words on it with a slightly different picture on it. Now, going down in here, again, different cover art on it. Does say 4K and Blu-ray. And then on the back here, obviously different going through the special features. Now, this one's interesting, because originally Sony did not release Sense and Sensibility in a regular Blu-ray release worldwide that was normally available for everyone. It was a Twilight Time, very limited release, very limited print. I think it was like 5,000 were released, and that was it. It went out of print. I do have a copy of that, and that's what I'm showing you the comparisons to. Now, in this release, it does include a brand new Blu-ray edition of it with the 4K Ultra HD, and both discs in this set are region-free. So, still in comparison to this 4K, it didn't hold a candle. The 4K does look the best. And the Blu-ray release that came in this set, compared to that Twilight Time, was just slightly, I'd say 5% better in colors and just a better scan overall than what the previous Twilight Time Blu-ray was, than what's included in this set. So in that case, you won't need to keep your previous Twilight Time release if you own it, or if you own one that was released in another country. You won't need to keep that anymore because this new Blu-ray scan is the best. But the 4K is where it's at, and as you can see above, it is drastically better. This is one of those that they scan the original film elements. This is a brand new native 4K 2160p scan and restoration, and it looks great. If you can see, there's a picture up there I'm going to show you of Kate Winslet's hat and her smiling. Holy cow. If you could see the depth and the clarity in that hat and how you can see every like fiber in that hat versus the original Blu-ray scan, and I compared it in this Blu-ray even to see, even in the Blu-ray release on here, you can't see every single fiber like you can in this 4K scan. Wow, this one was a stunner. I mean, Sense and Sensibility really did look amazing. And this is one of the best in the box set, I thought, of what it looked like overall. And this one did look amazing. And it's a full native 4K 2160p, so it's not an upscale. And you can drastically tell that when you compare this versus the Social Network. The Social Network had a lot of filters, and he'd use like fuzzy filters to give effects and things like that. So that's where, again, that 4K presentation on that just simply doesn't look as good as this native 4K presentation does. Now the film runs 136 minutes and it does have HDR10 on it. It is in the original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1, so it does look good on that. They didn't cut anything down, just like in the last two I reviewed. Those are all in the original aspect ratios as well. Audio wise, it does get a big upgrade. This has English Dolby Atmos on it. So it does come with obviously English DTS HD Master Audio on it as well. But it does come with the big upgrade, which is the Dolby Atmos. That's where it is a huge upgrade. Now, each film I've reviewed so far and each film I'm going to go through does have English DTS HD Master Audio, and those are 5.1 mixes in almost every single one of them. And it has those options available in every single other audio option as well. So that's why I said I'm trying to keep this shorter by not going through every single audio and subtitle option, but they're all available on there as well. Special features wise, it did have a bunch more special features than what was released on the Twilight Time Blu-ray before. So in that case, again, you don't need to keep the previous Blu-ray release because they're all included on this plus some other ones. And I did think overall, this was one of my favorite releases in the box set. It just looked stunning. So for this release, it gets a 9.6. That's an amazing review score for a 4K, but this one really did have a huge upgrade in visual quality. They left the natural film grain in it, but overall it just looked the colors because it's such a pretty film. The way it's filmed by Ang Lee, and Ang Lee did a great job with this. If you've ever seen like Life of Pi, he did a great job with that as well. And his colors and how he uses colors to tell the stories and when it's going to fall and winter and all of those things go into it. Man, did this look great. 9.6 for this. This one, if it's ever released individually and you want to pick it up, great release. Otherwise, I personally think this is the stunner in the box set for me. I really thought it looked amazing and makes this box set well worth picking up. Alright, I have something I'm going to cover real quick with all of you. Make sure you stick around. We've got a lot more films to go into, a lot more review scores, and then go through my combined box set review score of what I think about this set and if it's worth picking up. So make sure you stick around. I'm going to cover something real quick with all of you. If you enjoy my content and you enjoy this video, please consider giving this video a super thanks. There's a symbol right below this video, and when you click on that, that helps you to give a super thanks to the channel. All of that goes right back into the channel, and that helps me to keep providing you all of this content with all this time I put in, special effects, music, and all of the work that goes into providing you all of this exclusive content on my YouTube channel. So I ask that if you enjoy these videos and my content, please consider giving this video a super thanks. Another way you can help to support this channel is if you're going to pick up any of these titles in any of these reviews I do, any of these videos I do, always go to the description section right below each video, click through that description section and pick it up through there. That money goes right back into the channel and helps to support this channel as well at no cost to you. So those prices down there that Amazon sells those for on those links is always the same price you get it from anywhere else. And all of that helps to support this channel. So there's two ways you can help support this channel: by giving a super thanks or by clicking through those links in the description section right below each video. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like for me. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you're notified right when I release these videos. Just like when I release any of this early or any of this exclusive content that you're only gonna find here on my YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe. All right, let's dive right back into this. All right, next up we've got Oliver. And this is the story of Oliver Twist. And if you know anything about Charles Dickens books and things like that, this is a musical, basically, interpretation of Oliver Twist. And it is a film I enjoy, though I'm not going to say it's my favorite out of the box set. If you've kind of noticed, I start off with my favorite films. I kind of have been working through them and kind of telling you what ones I really enjoy. And so that's kind of how I've done them as we've been going through this review. Anatomy of the Murder I loved, then Social Network, I love that movie, and then Sense and Sensibility, I enjoyed that and love that. And then obviously comes Oliver. So it's kind of the ranking of what films I liked the best. Now, obviously the review scores have been drastically different. That's because when I review these and give my review scores, I'm trying to tell you what my thoughts are about the visual, audio, and if it's worth the upgrade if these are ever sold individually, or if it's worth buying this box set overall if all of these are worth it. And so that's why each one has slightly varying review scores based on what I thought about the presentation of what you see. Oliver is one of those that's an interesting one. I personally thought this one looked decent, though I didn't think it was the best looking in the box set. And I personally thought overall, Oliver had a softer image, the film grain, and there was a lot of tears and things that they did fix from the previous Blu Ray release that came out. But I didn't think it was the best looking of all of them. Oliver came out in 1968, so it is an older film, though Anatomy of a Murder was even older than that. And I thought Anatomy of a Murder actually looked better than Oliver. The runtime on Oliver is 153 minutes. It is rated G, and it is a native 4K 2160p representation. So they did go and scan the original film elements and restore it and remaster it, and it looks good. Like you can see with the title sequence and the entrance title sequence of Oliver, it does have more clarity than that image. You can see way more in the drawings behind the title words Oliver. You can see more lines in it and depth to it. It does have way more detail in it. I just kind of felt like when you got into the movie, as you've probably seen with those screenshots, yeah, it looked way better than the Blu-rays did before, but it just, in comparison to these other releases in this, I just didn't think it was the best. It is presented in the original aspect ratio of 2.35 to 1, and it does have a great audio mix, English, Dolby Atmos, and showing you what you get here, you get your slipcover, and then on your back, again, just slightly different art. Then you take your slipcover off, and you get this nice artwork on here. It says much, much more than a musical. And then on your back here, it goes through, it gets a bunch of special features on it. Now, going inside here, you do get your Oliver Blu-ray, which I can't seem to turn. Oh well. And then here you get your 4K. So you get, again, your Blu-ray copy and your 4K. Both of these discs were region-free. 4K and the Blu-ray were region-free, so you don't have to worry about that in this set. So I do enjoy the film, and I think it's a good musical. I think it's a good story of Oliver twist. I just kind of felt like as far as the upgrade and things like that goes, it just wasn't as good as some of the other ones they've restored in this box set. So for this gets an 8.6, and that's a good review score. It just did not look as amazing as like Sense and Sensibility did or Anatomy of a Murder. Looks good. I definitely suggest the upgrade. All right, let's get to the next one here. Next up is Taxi Driver, and this is a Martin Scorsese film with Robert De Niro. I am a huge Martin Scorsese fan, as you've probably known if you've watched the channel over the years. Not meaning to laugh here, but really, I'm a big Martin Scorsese fan. I love almost everything he's done. Really enjoy his films. This one, though, is not my favorite Martin Scorsese film, but I was glad to get it and add it to my collection in this set. Taxi Driver is kind of a psychopath movie of a guy that's a taxi driver. He's kind of a loner. People misunderstand him. He's very angry. He's very bitter. It kind of all builds up and then he goes crazy. And it's kind of one of those things, as you can see by the mohawk and the look, he just really does go crazy and, I mean, kills people and just, it's kind of one of those crazy stories. So it's not my favorite film Martin Scorsese does, but it kind of showed how unhinged some people get when they basically are alone and things that go on. So as far as this goes, it comes with a nice slipcover here. So as far as Taxi Driver goes, it came out in 1976 and it is rated R. And I'll tell you right off the bat with Taxi Driver, there is a lot of explicit content, language, violence, and some other stuff. So keep that in mind when I am reviewing this. There is a lot of explicit content, so for those of you that have watched my channel for years, I try to be careful what I suggest and what I don't. This is not one of those films that's a family film. This is one of those films that has a lot of explicit content, so keep that in mind and take that with a grain of salt. If you like it, you don't like it, that's up to you, but I will always let you know on this channel if there is things like that in it. Now, Taxi Driver runs 113 minutes. This did get a native 4K 2160p representation. They went back and scanned the original film elements, and that is where on Taxi Driver there was some drastic differences in colors. When they scanned this and basically restored this, there were some drastic color differences between the original Blu-ray releases. As you probably noticed up above, some of the colors drastically changed to the better. The original Blu-ray release had a kind of a fuzzy, and it did have the natural film grain in both releases, but the colors were desaturated in the original Taxi Driver Blu-ray release. In this, it's not oversaturated, but because of the new scan with HDR, which the HDR on this is Dolby Vision. It gets Dolby Vision in HDR10, so that's a big upgrade on this Taxi Driver. Though there's an interesting thing on this. audio options, you don't get the Dolby Atmos, which really surprised me. This is one of the only releases in this whole box set that did not get Dolby Atmos. It got DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. Not sure what their thought process behind it was and why Taxi Driver did not get the Dolby Atmos, but it doesn't have the option on it. So keep that in mind. Dolby Atmos is not on this Taxi Driver release. Aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1, so it does get the original aspect ratio, nothing's cut down. And to be honest with you, none of these releases that were in this box set had any of the aspect ratios cut down. So that's a great thing that Sony did with these. Showing you what you get on here, Taxi Driver on the side, obviously slightly different artwork on the back. And then coming inside here, you get different artwork again. And none of these had reversible artwork on the inside artwork. You do get two different slip cover on the outside and then the cover on here, but it's not reversible on the inside of the artwork. Coming on the back here, it's obviously got the pictures of Robert De Niro, special features. Has a ton of special features on this. I'm not going to go through them all, but I will say it includes all the special features on the previous Blu-ray release that I'm showing you the comparisons between. So you don't need to keep that previous Blu-ray release for any reason. They're all included on here. And it does have the new 20th anniversary re-release trailer and some other special features, Making Taxi Driver documentary, that are new things that were added as well. And then going inside here, you do get your Blu-ray and your 4K Ultra HD with two different artworks as well. And that's kind of pretty standard for these releases in the Sony set, is you get two different artworks on them. And both these discs were region free. Now, being that it's done by Martin Scorsese, and I do think it's an entertaining and interesting look at what can happen to people, though it's not my favorite Martin Scorsese film. This one, though, does look amazing. As you've probably seen by those screenshots above, holy cow, this is one of those restorations in this box set that really does stand out. Just like Sense and Sensibility and Anatomy of a Murder, this is one of those standout titles in this box set. If they ever sell it on its own, this really benefit from this new scan. Great job with leaving the natural film grain, and it does look amazing. This one gets a 9.2, so Taxi Driver gets a great review score. What a great release and what a scan. Man, they made this look brand new, and those color differences between it really did stand out on this. And this is one of those, just like Sense and Sensibility did. Man, they did a great job with that new scan to bring so much more life to the film without taking DNR to it, without changing it into something like a modern film where it's all waxy looking. They kept it looking great with the natural film grain in this new scan that it really does stand out. 9.2 for Taxi Driver. What a great scan Sony did. Man, this is another one in this collection that really did add to the overall value of what you're spending for this collection. Next up, we've got Stripes with Bill Murray. And Stripes is kind of a love it, hate it relationship. And I'll be honest with you, I am not as huge a fan of Stripes. It is not one of those films that the humor really made me laugh or something that I really loved. So keep that in mind. This review score is going to be based on what I thought about this restoration and the remaster on it, what I thought about the contents of what they gave you in it. But it's not one of those films I absolutely love. But it's nice having it in the collection. And I'll show you here, it does come with a slipcover on it. Back here, again, slightly different artwork on it. And then under the slipcover, it has the original poster artwork, and it does say 4K and Blu-ray. And then on the back, it has obviously talking about your 4K. And this one's unique because they did include the theatrical and the extended uncut versions of the film in 4K Ultra HD, as well as the Blu-ray disc. Now, the Blu-ray release has the same theatrical and extended uncut versions on it. It does have a bunch of different behind-the-scenes, special features, theatrical trailers. All the special features that were released in the original Blu-ray release are included in this. So again, if you buy this, you don't need to keep your original Blu-ray release. They're all included in here. And I will touch on this, as I always do. This is rated R for sexuality, nudity, language, and some drug use. So again, a lot of explicit content. All right, going inside here, you do get your Blu-ray and your 4K Ultra HD. Two different artworks. I do like how they do that. 4K Ultra HD and your Blu-ray are both region free. So Stripes did get a native 4K 2160p scan and restoration, and it does look really good. They scanned the original film elements, and it did bring new life to the film. As you can see above through those screenshots, it really did make the film stand out and look a whole lot better. I just wish I liked the movie better, and I just don't. It does have HDR10 on it. It did not get Dolby Vision presentation. I wish it would have. I thought all of these films should have gotten Dolby Vision, but as you can see, some of them did and some of them didn't. This one did not. It's just HDR10 on it. It's in the original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1, So they didn't cut it down. Like I said before, it's all in the original aspect ratio. And audio options, you did get English, Dolby Atmos, as well as all the English, Spanish, and all the other audio options in DTS HD Master Audio. So it did have a great job with all the audio options. So it still has all the plethora of audio options and subtitles that all the rest of the releases did. So basically almost every single country you can possibly think for any language, subtitles and audio options are included in all of these discs. So they did a really good job including all of those options. So that way all of us that collect these around the world have the option to watch it in any audio or any subtitle option that we really want. But overall, Stripes just does have a more softer image in my opinion than like what Taxi Driver had. Overall, Taxi Driver had so much more depth to the image and really did bring out more life to that film for it being a comedy film that might just simply be how it was filmed. So there was only so much they could do with it. So therefore, this release gets an 8.5. I do think it looked good, drastically better than the Blu-ray release before this. It does get an 8.5, and it is a good upgrade if you like the film. It is something you will notice it does look drastically better. Even than the Social Network in this box set, it does drastically look better than that. And the new scan on this did look great, and it's a worthy upgrade. If you like the film, it'll be one you'll want to pick up. Now, getting into the box set next here, it does have a really nice glossy cover art, and I really think these Columbia Classics collections are really well done. I really think, other than the individual releases, these box sets are really worth it. Now I'm setting it on my shoulder here because it is quite heavy. And it does get heavy holding this, but it does come in this really nice box set. It has a nice kind of J card on it. It says limited edition 6-film collection. And I'll touch on that here for a second for all of you that are collectors or want to know if this is something you should pick up. These limited edition sets are very limited. As I've talked about on the channel before, I missed out on the original release that came out many years ago and had to wait to try to get it later on. This time I didn't. I pre-ordered this and got this in as fast as possible. Now, taking the J card off here for a minute, on the back here it does have everything listed, and it does come with your digital codes for movies anywhere. So you get these in 4K Ultra HD on digital copies as well. So you get Blu-rays, you get your 4Ks, and you get your digital movies. But as all of you know that have watched the channel for a long time, I don't care about the digital movies. I don't use that. I always look for the physical copies because that's where the really outstanding picture is. Digital can never compare to the physical copies. The physical copies with Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and 4K Ultra HD will always look hands down better than digital. But you get the copy in there so you can watch it on whatever platform you want. So in the box set, it does have these like fold outs here that have your slip covers, as you can see here, which is why I like these sets so much. Each of your slip covers matches and sets on the side, and they slip out like books. So it's kind of like a really nice bookcase set. Really hard, thick case that it comes in. And they're really nice how they all match. So on both sides, you get, obviously, as you can see here, all your other cases here, where they're all listed out with matching slip covers, which is where I said this is really highly collectible. Behind that, you get your book. This is where your book is housed in here. And it's really nice with Columbia, and it looks different than what the last release had in it. And I did like that, how they're keeping basically the Columbia look. And then on the back here, it obviously has the same Columbia's different logos in burgundy. And on the side here, it does say Columbia Classics Volume 2. So if you own Volume 1, this looks amazing, adding it to your collection, how they're keeping the same thing going. And I really do hope Columbia keeps doing this. And I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to release multiple releases of these over the years. And maybe every year they're going to come out with one of these limited edition sets. And to be honest with you, based on what they've done with these, now that I've gotten 2 of them, I'm going to keep buying them as they come out with them. Because even though there's maybe a film or 2 in it that maybe I don't really care for as much or enjoy as much, overall, the collection is definitely enjoyable and worth it. And I do think the restorations that they're doing, especially because, just like in Volume 1, they didn't release all of those films in Volume 1 individually later on. So if you didn't get it, you kind of missed out on them. It's the same thing with this, I think they're going to do. They're going to pick maybe 2 or 3 of them to release around the world. The rest of them are going to be limited to this set. So because of that, and I'm a big collector wanting to have things in my collection that I can always access and watch at any time, that's why I do think this was worth buying and picking up. Now I'll show you the book here for a second. This is one of my favorite features in these box sets. It's a hardbound book. Really nice hardbound book that comes in this. And it's really well done. Volume 1 was really well done, and Volume 2 looks amazing as well. High gloss pages. It's a real nice coffee table book. It goes through high gloss, black and white production stills, photos of what went on with the films, talking about introductions, all your table of contents for each and every film behind the scenes. And this is one of those books that it rivals Arrow Videos releases that they come with in books, Criterion collections. I personally think these books are done even better than some of those. I love how it's hardcover. It's got all these photos going into the original release. And I'm not going to show you everything in here because this book is ginormous. And it has dozens upon dozens of pages and photos, essays talking about behind the scenes, things that people didn't know about the releases. And it's so well done that honestly, I think that's what adds to the value of this release. And that's where I really think that this Columbia Classics Collections, this book alone, as well as the extra disc that comes in it, and I'll show you that. There's a little hidden thing in here that I was really glad they changed how they did it in Volume 1. Volume 1, they gave you an extra bonus disc that was only available in Volume 1. And it had a bunch of extra special features and bonus features that were made for that set. In that one, they just kind of threw it in the box set, and it was hanging out when mine got delivered. Well, I am proud to announce in this set, they took the suggestion of a lot of people and put it in the back of the book, so your disc is right inside here. So your bonus disc is in the back of the actual book instead of just floating around in the box set, which I like that because it keeps everything nicely together so the disc isn't floating around getting damaged, and it's got that nice little case it slips into with the flap on it. So overall, I think Columbia and Sony are learning from their first release and doing a much better job with Volume 2. And I really think little things like that is what made this collection so much better. So overall, this book I enjoyed even more than Volume 1. I think it was even better done. And overall, I really think this is what adds to the value of what makes this collection great. Price point for this set has been going for right around about 110 to about 120 bucks. So if you take the 6 films that are in there and you divide that out with the book, with the extra box, and all the extra things they give you, the extra disc and things like that, it's a pretty darn good deal. I mean, overall for these 4K releases, you're looking at about around 20 bucks per release, which if they release them all individually would be a good deal for this new 4K restoration and scan. Overall, for the entire box set, my review score for this is a 9.3. I definitely recommend picking this up. It is one of those releases, especially after what happened with Volume 1, I highly recommend picking this up and adding this to your collection. If you're a film fan, if there's even 3 films in this collection that you like, that you want to see the upgrade, I recommend picking it up for that. Even if only half of the films you're excited about, it's still well worth picking up because the other films I was surprised about watching them in 4K. I did enjoy them in a new presentation, the new colors. Some of them did have drastic differences, as you saw. Through all those exclusive 4K to Blu Ray image comparisons I did, there was a lot of drastic differences, and they did look the best they've ever looked in this collection. So for that reason alone, 9.3 is a great review score for this. Though as you did notice, just like as I've always said, I'll be honest with you, some of the films did have a lower upgrade than what I had expected for the 4K representations. But overall for the box set, 9.3, because you get these books, the extra discs, all of that stuff I love getting and really think is well worth it. And as always, I will have the links for this listed in the description section right below this video. So if you're going to pick this up, I just ask that you click through the links in the description section right below this video. That does help to support my YouTube channel, and I do really appreciate all the love and support all of you have given over the years. Make sure to start the conversation down in the comments section right below this video. Let me know if you're excited about any of these films. Let me know which one of these you're the most excited to watch and to see the upgrade on, and let me know if you're going to pick up this collection. I was surprised at the varying quality throughout it. I really enjoyed going through this, and I know this was a longer review for the channel, but holy cow, this was a big box set, and I wanted to make sure I give each film its due and just review. So that's why it took a little bit longer to go through all of these. I wanted to make sure I covered all of these for all of you. That way you know what my thoughts are about each one individually, my review scores, and let me know if after my review you're going to pick it up now. Make sure to go down through the description section below to pick it up. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a like for me, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Just like this review, as you've all seen, I've been doing a lot more of these exclusive and special content on my channel. I'm working extra hard to get more and more of this content out to you, so you know if it's something you're going to want to spend your money on while these are available, and if it's something you're going to want to pre-order or pick up. And this is one I highly recommend picking up. I had a fun time today. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I look forward to doing this again real soon. Make sure to stick around. We've got a bunch more exclusive reviews coming out this week.